Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all of our witnesses for sharing your expertise and sounding the alarm on this. In addition to the experts and those that are at the dais here, I did want to just acknowledge and recognize representatives of the African American Tobacco Control Leadership Council who are also in the room with us today, and we thank you for your good work. The growing youth vaping epidemic has taken the Commonwealth, which I represent, by storm. Across the state, it is estimated that nearly 1 in 5 high schoolers and 1 in 20 middle school age kids are using these products. Student advocates report school bathrooms have turned into Juul lounges that smell fruity and minty. I've spent the last 10 years of my life as an elected official advocating for a school nurse in every school, and we've learned from our school nurses that 80% of high school students are vaping, and that's from their youth risk behavior surveys. Leaders at the local and state level in Massachusetts, from our city council to our attorney general, who was the one to initiate the first investigation into Juul's problematic marketing and sales practices, and our Boston City Council is looking to push for a hearing on banning flavored vaping products, but we have to act on the federal level. And so I'd be remiss not to highlight how similar many of Juul's tactics seem to be right out of the Big Tobacco playbook. For decades, Big Tobacco targeted black communities to the point where almost 90% of all black smokers used menthols. Nearly 45% of black menthol smokers state they would quit smoking if menthols were altogether banned. So it is extremely disturbing. We've been here before. We don't need a bunch of studies. The only studies we need are the millions of casualties that are behind us and that we run the risk of seeing ahead of us. So this is very disturbing. The flavor crisis is even worse for children. 66% of whom the National Institute on Drug Abuse found believed e-cigarettes only contained flavors, as we learned from the youth who spoke today, and we thank you for telling your story. It seems obvious that the elimination of flavors would help eliminate this confusion. So, Dr. Winninghoff, why are menthol-flavored tobacco products particularly exploitive in the context of e-cigarettes?
Well, thanks for the question. The tobacco industry has a long history of targeting mint and menthol-flavored tobacco products to African Americans, and specifically African American children. A recent study in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, however, showed that the majority of Americans believe that mint and menthol should be banned as a flavor in tobacco products. Now, interestingly, and contrary to what the tobacco industry and the tobacco product industry claims, if you just look at the opinions of blacks and African Americans, an even greater majority believed it should be banned. So I think no one's fooling anybody here.
Agreed. And aside from potentially preying upon the black community, Juul's marketing playbook, as we learned from Ms. O'Leary, has targeted children and Native populations. Ms. Berkman, you were so disturbed by Juul's practices that you created an organization to spread awareness of Juul's dangers to families across the country. You know that expression, hell hath no fury like a woman. They need to make up one about moms, okay? Right. Because that's next level. And so, you know, we thank you for your fierceness and your advocacy. What have parents told you about how Juul's marketing influenced their children's use of the product?
Well, I wish we'd had those slides because I hope everyone will get to see them. When you see the sexy young influencers that were giving this product away, when you see how similar the old tobacco ads, they're almost identical. So Juul knew what it was doing, and what we tell parents is, you know, you're not a bad parent because unfortunately, as you have said, everyone is doing it. And the scary thing is, in this case, it's true. It's stealth by design. And as you said, we are very upset. These are kids who would otherwise not have been initiated into tobacco use. We're talking about kids, known harm to kids versus potential benefit for adults. I hope there is potential benefit for adults in general, but known harm to kids who can't make those decisions for themselves because they're being deceived through the use of social media That's a problem.
I want to pick up on the deception and how that affects adults. Ms. O'Leary, did Juul make any claims to the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe about its product helping people quit smoking? Did they claim that these products were healthy?
Yes, you can see in slide 21 from the my attachment that it states, quote, "Have smokers that can't quit? Juul has created a program where you can help them switch with minimal cost to you." So using words like quit, switch, cessation is implied, and that was the impression of the tribal council members who were on the other end of this presentation. I think that the other claim that was made was the harm reduction. In slide 6 of their presentation, they state elimination of combustible cigarettes is crucial to reduce risk of harm. And on slide 12, vaping is a fraction of the risk of smoking, at least 95% less harmful. But I want to point out that in that study that found that this was done with not Juul, but other e-cigarettes that had much less nicotine content.
I can't tell the clock. Do I still have time here? Am I at time, or do I still have time? Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.